Welcome back, everybody, to the Tennessee Titans franchise here on Madden 23. Today we'll be kicking off Season 3 of the series. Last episode, we went over the 2024 NFL Draft, and in case you missed it, I'll leave a card at the top right of your screen so you can go and check it out. It was a pretty wild draft with a lot of big moves and fun storylines. We saw 6 quarterbacks go in the first round, a modern-day NFL record. As for our Tennessee Titans, we were quite busy. Our top selection was linebacker Asher Gonzalez out of San Diego State. We added a big-time playmaker to the offense with Elijah Bryant out of Florida, along with a multitude of other talented players on both sides of the ball, including a quarterback, Alabama's Bryson Byrne, in the 4th round. So as we go into the preseason, we do have a few more orders of business to get to. If you want to get right to the regular season, I'll leave a timestamp in the description. But if you want to see all the preseason stuff, here you go. This is a look at the undrafted free agents who we have decided to sign. These guys will get to play in the preseason. We'll see if they are good enough to make the active roster or the practice squad or get cut. We ended up releasing some players already on the roster because I wanted to give some of these undrafted guys an opportunity. Some of our notable undrafted free agent signings include a quarterback, Kevon Dorn, out of Northwestern. Marquette Collins is a really talented playmaking running back out of Cal. Ezekiel Ayutondo could challenge for big playing time at tight end out of the University of Oregon. And then on defense, Giovanni Scope, the linebacker of Louisiana Tech, could be a name to watch. He is 93 speed. Total freak athlete. We have a mentorship opportunity as well, and immediately when I saw that, I knew exactly who it was going to be. Derrick Henry and Elijah Bryant, and I'm really excited to see Derrick Henry taking our new rookie running back under his wing. I think these two players are going to complement each other really well. Obviously, we drafted Elijah Bryant to be the long-term running back, but as long as Derrick Henry is here, he's still going to be a focal point of the offense. They're going to complement each other's skill sets, and I'm happy that they're both going to be working together in sync. Derrick Henry's stepping up as a team leader and a team captain, which, I mean, we already knew he was a high-character leader, but he's continuing to show it here with the new rookie, Elijah Bryant. So I actually have one trade I want to make as well. We're going to be shipping Robert Woods to New England for tight end Jonnu Smith. It's a trade that makes a lot of sense for both sides because we don't need Robert Woods. He's old. I think he's honestly kind of washed. He was pretty bad last year, and he still has 2 more expensive years on his contract. We drafted 2 receivers with Quinn Crew and Hot Rod Pryor, so we just don't need him. As for New England, he'll be their highest-rated receiver. We need a tight end, and they already have Hunter Henry. They don't need Jonnu Smith, who is most known for his time here in Tennessee before signing with New England. He was better in Tennessee than he was with the Patriots, and again, he's on kind of the bad contract, so both teams are taking off bad contracts for each other. The Patriots fill a need, and we get a need by bringing in a familiar face in Jonnu Smith, a player who has performed well here before, and will have another opportunity as our starting tight end. I wanted to make some moves around the league as well. Normally, I don't do this in the preseason, but I felt there were a few that would make sense, such as Desmond Ridder to Washington for a 3rd-round pick. The Falcons drafted his replacement in the 1st round, and Washington needs a QB. The Seahawks also need a quarterback because they did not draft one, so they'll be acquiring Jackson Kayuma from the Miami Dolphins. Kayuma was their 2nd-rounder last year out of the University of Arkansas. This is an interesting one. Jaden Wilson-Miller from the Chiefs to the Browns for a 2 and a 4. Keep in mind, the Chiefs signed Calvin Ridley, Brandon Ayuk, and Kendrick Bourne, so they clearly don't value Jaden Wilson-Miller, who was a 3rd-rounder last year. But on the flip side, he does have Superstar X Factor, so I think giving him up for anything less just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. He'll get a lot of playing time this year in Cleveland. This is what the lineup is going to look like for the preseason. As you guys know, I don't like to play a lot of our starters during the preseason. The only starters you're going to see in here are rookies or other young guys battling for playing time, like Sekou Bateau on offense and Jordan Ruffin on defense. Both of those guys were starters for us last year, but other than that, most of these players are either backups, undrafted players, or players who we did draft who are rookies looking to get their feet wet in the NFL. So our first preseason game is at home against the Green Bay Packers, a team who we will play later in the regular season. The Packers, of course, lost Aaron Rodgers to retirement. They have a new starting quarterback in Genesis Moon, who they drafted in the first round a couple years ago out of Georgia, as Green Bay gets the win 31-24, led by the undrafted rookie out of Memphis, Caleb Custard, who will likely be Genesis Moon's backup. So we start the preseason off 0-1, unfortunately. It looks like we threw the ball pretty well as we take a look at the stats on the day. Caleb Custard was pretty solid for Green Bay, but he was not as good as our undrafted rookie, Kevon Dorn, who balled out, unlike Bryson Byrne. Byrne was horrible, whereas Kevon Dorn was great. On the ground, nothing super notable. In the air, Zaire Patton, one of our undrafted players last year, had a really good game as he looks to make the final roster. We had some guys play well on defense. Amidu Sonogo and Jordan Ruffin were among the standouts. And unfortunately, Nitane Muti, who was battling for that starting left guard spot, ended up dislocating his ankle. He's a very injury-prone player, and, well, he's already gotten injured. We're going to put him on IR. Going back to the mentorship thing between Derrick Henry and Elijah Bryant, last week we chose to focus on Elijah Bryant's long-term development with Derrick Henry. And as you'll see here, as a result, Elijah Bryant now has Superstar X Factor. So I had no idea this is what happens when you choose that scenario, but Elijah Bryant's an X Factor now. I looked at the original draft class, and he originally had Superstar. So this means that by completing that, he gets to go up in Dev, and not to mention, he no longer has Hidden. He just has X Factor entirely, so now we can give him his own ability. Once he's an 80 overall, we'll be able to have more Superstar abilities, which should be pretty soon, considering he's a 79. So let me know what abilities you like for Elijah Bryant down below in the comments as we get to our second of 3 preseason games. This one in the desert against the Arizona Cardinals of the NFC West. And we would end up losing this game as well, only by 1, 26-27. It ended up being a really close game. We had an opportunity to win at the end, and unfortunately, we were unsuccessful, so we are now 0-2. 372 passing yards, nearly 500 yards of total offense. So clearly we had no problems moving the ball down the field. The big story today was the performance of Bryson Byrne, who after a horrible week 1 against Green Bay, balled out. 14 for 16, 2 touchdowns, perfect passer rating. And with that, Bryson Byrne pretty much cements himself as QB2 on the depth chart. AJ Redico had a big game, but he got injured. Hot Rod Pryor also got injured as well. Jordan Greer allowed 4 sacks. That is not good. What is good is Jordan Ruffin having another one, along with Devontae Turner Jr. All 4 of those sacks by the Cardinals were by former first-round linebacker Jermaine Hicks. We have another new injury, and it's Hot Rod Pryor, who dislocated his ankle. He's going to miss some time. I decided to put him on IR as well, and I know he's only going to be out for 4 weeks, but by doing so, we'll be able to have an extra roster spot, and I don't think he would have played right away early in the season, considering he is a 7th-round rookie, so now we can give it to someone like, say, Zaire Patton, who's really performing well here in the preseason. That'll bring us to our final preseason game against the Los Angeles Rams, led by first-round rookie quarterback Isaiah Gordon, whom they traded up for at the University of Kentucky. And sure enough, the Rams would ultimately get the win here. So we finished the preseason 0-3. I'm not really worried about it because we mostly played backups. I gave some of our starters a little bit of playing time today, including Malik Willis. I wanted to get him out there for a quarter just so he could get his feet wet because he hasn't played football since like November of last year before he got injured. I actually had all of our quarterbacks play today. Malik Willis played the first quarter, Bryson Byrne played in the second, Kevon Dorn played the third, and then Cedric Woods played in the fourth. And it seems like our offense was by far the best when, ironically, Cedric Woods was in the game, and he's the worst quarterback of the bunch. Isaiah Gordon was decent, not great, but not bad. As for us, yeah, Cedric Woods was by far the best of the group, whereas the other 3 guys were all pretty mediocre, in particular Kevon Dorn, who was the worst. Unfortunately, Elijah Bryant got injured. When I saw that, my heart dropped. His injury is not serious. However, Marquette Collins, one of the other running backs, does have a serious injury. Scotty Pickens has played pretty well in the preseason. I don't know how he's gotten on the field, but he's playing well. Jordan Ruffin got a sack in all 3 preseason games, and Asher Gonzalez also had a sack as well. So Marquette Collins ended up partially tearing his MCL. He's going to go on IR as well. I think there's a decent shot he would have made the final roster, even as an undrafted player. I think he's really good. But we're going to put him on IR and, again, give ourselves an extra roster spot, maybe for one of the other running backs like Hassan Haskins or Emmett Denzel. We have to cut 19 players. It's really not the fun part of the preseason. So first, let's take a look at the stats, try to figure out who played well and who didn't. In terms of passing, the highest passer rating of the bunch was Bryson Byrne, although the three young quarterbacks were all pretty close together. Malik Willis actually had the worst, although he only threw 11 passes. We didn't run the ball great. Rocket Reddick and Elijah Bryant were both pretty mediocre. In the receiving game, A.J. Redico was phenomenal. Letty Amon and Zaire Patton played well. So did Quinn Crew, and Scotty Pickens ended up scoring twice. Again, I don't know how he saw the field, but he played really well per usual. Jordan Greer really did not do well. 4 sacks allowed in under 60 snaps. On defense, Laverne Pulsifer and Jordan Ruffin were the standouts. Ruffin with a sack in all 3 games. Unfortunately, we did not force a single turnover, though. And Randy Bullock, who's been perfect in terms of field goals the last couple of years, missed 3. We had a small punting battle in the offseason as well. I think Jeffrey Walker, the undrafted rookie out of Houston, will ultimately win that and be our punter next year. So we have to cut 19 players. Well, actually, we're only going to cut 18 because Kyle Phillips is getting traded to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round pick. We just don't need Kyle Phillips. We've added so many young receivers over the past couple of years, and not to mention Hot Rod Pryor, who isn't even showing up on the list because he's on IR. So we don't need Kyle Phillips. I would have ended up cutting him, but now we get an additional draft pick, and Washington adds some solid depth at wide receiver. So now we have to cut 18 players. Ultimately, we're going to ride with 2 quarterbacks. Woods and Doran will go to the practice squad. Byrne and Willis will make the final roster. We're going to start with 4 running backs, and eventually Marquette Collins will get back. In terms of receivers, Zaire Patton will make the final roster. He did not last year, but he performed really well in the preseason. I think he's earned it, and I think he could see some playing time along with A.J. Redico and Quinn Crew. We're going to keep all 3 tight ends. Jordan Greer is going to get cut outright, and the undrafted rookie Abu will make the final 53. Another undrafted rookie, Ishmael Curley, will also make the final roster. Laverne Pulsifer, another undrafted player, making the final roster as well. So that's, I think, 4 now. Tommy Togiai would get cut outright despite the cap penalty. We only have 5 true defensive linemen, but this doesn't account for some of our edge rushers at linebacker. Giovanni Scoped was a tough one, but I decided to put him on the final roster. There's another undrafted player making it. And then in the secondary, Kareem Bouari, the undrafted rookie out of South Carolina, would make it as well. I think he's really good at run support, had multiple tackles for loss in the preseason. I think he'll be a really good special teams ace. And then the safety, Ronnie Dayton Quinn, I decided to cut him. While one of the other undrafted players, Baye Diarra, ended up making the final 53. So I think we ended up with like 5 or 6 undrafted rookies making the final roster, which is pretty impressive. And Jeffrey Walker as well, another undrafted player. He ended up winning the punting job over Nelson Snomas. I made one quick change. I thought there were 14 spots on the practice squad, not 12. That's why I cut Ronnie Dayton Quinn. I didn't want to let him go, so we're going to bring him back on the practice squad now that I realized my mistake. So that'll bring us here to week 1. I think we're going to have the goal of making the playoffs. I don't know if I see this team as a Super Bowl team quite yet. I just need to see the quarterback situation prove itself out a little bit more. In terms of what we need to focus on, I think our defense is really what we're going to focus on here, particularly the pass defense, because Houston has a new shiny toy at quarterback. The Texans drafted Kane Sanders with the 9th overall pick out of the University of Houston. He would finish 2nd in the Heisman Trophy voting and led Houston to the college football playoff. He's a really, really good player and has won the starting job over Davis Mills. So I think we've got our hands full with this new young man at quarterback. Time to name our team captains. We're rocking with Malik Willis, Derrick Henry, Andrew Thomas, first-time captain, Fletcher Cox, Cardell Simpson, first-time captain, and Kevin Byard. So those are going to be our 6 guys. We've got a lot of young, high-character players. I think Elijah Bryant's going to be a captain in no time. He was a 2-year captain at the University of Florida. And this is what the depth chart is going to look like for week 1. We're going to get a lot of these young guys rotating in and out. I'm really excited to see how all of these guys mesh together. We're going to use different players in a variety of different ways. Look no further than Elijah Bryant, who's going to be the pass-catching back. He's going to get some snaps in the slot at wide receiver. So we're going to try to really use these guys to their strengths, which ultimately I think is going to be how we end up winning some games this year, hopefully, as maybe the youngest team in the NFL right now. We've got so many young starters. So let's take a look at these Houston Texans, a team who I really think is new and improved for the better. We've faced off against quite a few rookie quarterbacks this year. We play against Bartholomew Blunt and the Colts next week. We play Cade Hutchinson late in the year. Even though he's not a rookie, we get to face off against Clyde Williamson. That'll be fun against the Lions. So let's take a look at Kane Sanders, somebody who really came out of nowhere this past season in college. To open up the year, he was projected as, what, a 5th-round pick? But he was the best passer in the country last year. And again, he led a pretty mediocre Houston team to the college football playoff, finishing second in the Heisman Trophy voting and winning the starting job over Davis Mills. The Texans have plenty of young, talented players on both sides of the ball. I think they've really done a good job with their rebuild. This is not the same laughingstock Texans that we've seen through the first 2 seasons of this series. I think these guys are going to win some games this year. Maybe they won't have a playoff spot or anything, but they're going to be competitive in this division, and I don't want to take them lightly because I think they're a really, really formidable group led by head coach Lovie Smith. So it should be a fun one here. Week 1, the 2024 NFL season is here. Our Tennessee Titans have some unfinished business after losing in heartbreaking fashion in the divisional round last season. The Titans have made a lot of big additions on both sides of the ball. They had a big draft, and most importantly of all, Malik Willis is back and healthy as the starting quarterback here. This Titans team has some expectations, and I think these teams in the AFC South are going to play a lot better. The Jaguars should certainly improve, while the Colts and the Texans have 2 new talented quarterbacks whom they drafted in the top 10 respectively. So I'm excited to see how this season goes. Orlando Walker has it teed off for the Texans, and we are underway. Welcome to Season 3 of the Titans franchise, as Rocket Reddick will return it for the Titans. Pretty good return for Reddick. He gets it out to the 29, and let's meet the Tennessee Titans offense, led by the 3rd-year quarterback at the University of Liberty, Malik Willis. It's put up or shut up time for Willis, who was pretty good last year prior to his injury. We didn't get to see him in the playoffs, and although he has shown a lot of flashes, it's not some foregone conclusion that he's the franchise quarterback. He's got to play well this year to keep his starting job, and that starts today here against the Texans. 2nd and 9, Willis looking for a screen. It's tipped and intercepted. Cyrus Okpoko Jr. picks it off for the Texans and takes it to the house for a pick 6. Well, that was fast. Not really a great start. On the 2nd play of the game, Willis tries to send a screen for the rookie Elijah Bryant, but it's picked off by Bryant's former University of Florida teammate, Cyrus Okpoko, who takes it to the house. You really can't blame Willis there. He was under a lot of pressure. Not much else he could have done about that. Just a great defensive play all around by the Texans. All right, try number 2. Hopefully this drive goes a little bit better as Treylon Burks gets Tennessee's first down of the year. Good throw by Willis. Now from the 40, King Henry in the backfield as it's another pass. Willis goes up the middle for Jonnu Smith, breaking the tackle from Octavius Thatcher, bringing it past midfield. Good start to the drive for Tennessee. On 2nd and 2, it's a handoff to the rookie Elijah Bryant. His first NFL touch goes for a first down. Not too bad as he gets 3. 3rd and 2, Willis looks to throw it short for Bryant, who makes a really tough catch but does not get the first down. That was a bad read. I don't know why Bryant was the target. He did a good job of holding on. 4th and inches, the Titans are going to go for it as it's Derrick Henry who gets it up the middle, and he will gain around 6, keeping the chains moving. That's a gutsy decision to go for it on 4th down there, but it pays off. Following play, Willis for the end zone. It's caught. Scotty Pickens with his first catch of the year. It goes for a touchdown, and the Titans tie it up. Scotty Pickens is such a dynamic player. We saw it all last year as a rookie, regardless of who was in at quarterback, whether it was Willis or eventually Garrett Pace. Man, the Titans got themselves a star at receiver. So now we finally get to see Kane Sanders in his first NFL drive. The 9th overall pick out of Houston completes his first pass of the day over to John Mechie III for a gain of 11. Sanders is the hometown kid. He played his college ball here at Houston, finished 2nd in the Heisman voting last year, leading Houston to the college football playoff. As on 1st down, it's caught by Tyler Higbee. That was a risky throw. He was under a lot of pressure, but is still able to complete the pass. Kane Sanders does need to improve upon his ability to improvise and make plays while under pressure, as on 3rd down, he gets it to the rookie Chad Johnson,
who gets 16 yards. Johnson was the team's second rounder of Penn State. The talented young tight end had a great 4-year career with the Nittany Lions. 3rd and 8, Sanders looks to throw with under a minute left in the quarter. Ball's out, and it's picked up by Houston's other first-rounder, Kalen Fonts, who is lit up by Asher Gonzalez, the Titans' top draft pick out of San Diego State. That was Harold Landry with the strip sack. Who could have guessed that one? Landry was dominant last year with 30 TFLs and 14 sacks in the regular season, along with 4 in Tennessee's divisional round loss against the Steelers, and a really nice play by Gonzalez to quickly bring down the right tackle, Kalen Fonts. That'll bring out the kicker, Orlando Walker, who makes the field goal from 37 yards out. And the Houston Texans take a 10-7 lead as we get to the final play of the first quarter. Handoff to Derrick Henry, breaking a tackle. He gets another first down. So far, Derrick Henry looks pretty good. He may be 30, but he's still got a lot left in the tank. It's been a fun start so far. 10-7, the Houston Texans currently lead here against the Titans. Tennessee got unlucky with the early turnover, trying to combat that. As Willis goes up the middle for Scotty Pickens. He'll get it past the 50 to around the 38-yard line. Willis 1 yard away from the perfect stat line of 6 for 9 with 69 yards. He almost had it. 2nd and 4, Willis up the middle. It's caught by Elijah Bryant, getting that snap out of the slot. As we talked about on draft night, Bryant is going to be all over the field as a running back, as a slot receiver. He's going to do a little bit of everything. Mecole Hardman with the first down to the 15, and Tennessee's really moving the ball well. Minus the interception, Malik Willis looks really good today. 1st and 10, Willis is sacked quickly to the ground by Yannick Ngakoue for a loss of 5. The Titans are the only AFC South team who Yannick Ngakoue has never played for. 3rd down, Willis is picked off again. Cyrus Okpoko with his 2nd interception of the game, and that one was a lot more to the fault of Malik Willis. I see what he was trying to do there, but he didn't put enough air in his pass. Cyrus Okpoko was right there to pick that one off. As you can see, he was trying to get Mecole Hardman on the crossing pattern, but Cyrus Okpoko was right there to pick that one off. Okpoko's like 6'7". It's hard to throw over him because he's a very tall guy. So the Texans have it back as Landry nearly sacks Kane Sanders and fairly nearly picks it off. It deflects off of his hands. The Titans nearly with a huge play there. 3rd and 10. Sanders looks to throw it. His pass is caught short by Kareem Hunt, who is wrapped up by Long and Landry, well shy of the first down marker. So the Titans get the stop, and they'll get it back on offense off of the turnovers. Elijah Bryant gets the carry on 1st down. He loses 2. Gabe Feldstead brings him down, the former 2nd-round pick out of the University of Oklahoma. 2nd and 12, Willis looks to throw it now. He has a wide-open man downfield. It's Scotty Pickens, who, unsurprisingly, is balling here in this first half with his 3rd big play of the game. 3rd and inches now at the 35 with about 4 to go left in the half. Henry with the handoff, and he does not get it. Octavius Thatcher stops him shy of the yards to gain. So it's 4th and inches. The Titans could go for a 52-yard field goal, but instead they're going to go for it. No Henry in the game. It's Elijah Bryant who gets the ball, gets the first down with the spin move. He probably shouldn't have done that because he could have possibly gone backwards, but luckily it doesn't matter as the rookie keeps the drive moving. 2nd and 10, Willis up the middle. It's caught by Jonnu Smith, the tight end. He gets it to the 14. And again, I think Malik Willis is playing quite well today, minus the turnovers. He looks confident. He looks poised. He's been pretty accurate. 3rd and 8, Willis looks to throw it, and it's dropped. Ezekiel Ayutondo had that ball right in his hands. Got to catch that rookie. Willis with a perfect throw, but Ayutondo cannot hang on. And so the former Texan, Randy Bullock, ties it up on the field goal as we are now knotted up at 10 late in the half. Kareem Hunt with it on 3rd down for the Texans. He gets only 8, so the Titans defense gets the stop, and now they have a real opportunity to take the lead here before halftime with a minute and a half left on the clock, along with 2 timeouts. Willis on 1st down as Scotty Pickens wide open up the middle. Pickens with a spin move, great play after the catch. Bold strategy choosing not to cover him. Just over a minute to go. Willis on 1st down looks to throw it with Scotty Pickens in the zone, and Willis gets sacked. Jadeveon Clowney and friends there to bring him down. Clowney, of a former #1 pick back in Houston where it all started. On 3rd and 12, McCall Hardman is able to get the first down. He was wide open. I don't know why the Texans didn't cover the intermediate part of the field. About 30 seconds to go now. Willis has Pickens open, but he overthrows him. Where have I seen that before? Cough, Garrett Pace. 2nd and 10 now at the 37. It's a handoff to Derrick Henry. The Titans are running the football, and it works as he's out of bounds at the 23. Tennessee decided to catch Houston off guard, and it completely pays off. What a play call. So the Titans are down to 24 seconds. They still have the timeout as Willis looks to throw it on 1st down, and he is sacked. Rocket Reddick misses the block, and the Titans have to call their last timeout. The pass protection for Tennessee today has been a disaster. The Titans would fail on a couple of shots to the end zone, so they have to kick the field goal. Randy Bullock makes the kick, and the Tennessee Titans now lead this game 13-10, and that will bring us to the conclusion of the first half. It's been a good one here in Houston, but Tennessee holds on to the slight lead, 13-10. It hasn't been perfect. Malik Willis has thrown 2 interceptions, but the Titans are completely dominating in terms of time of possession. Let's take a look at our halftime report, shall we?
Let's start in the Motor City as Clyde Williamson and the Lions face off against former University of Michigan quarterback Bartholomew Blount in his NFL debut with the Colts. It's been a one-sided game, but not as many would have expected. The Colts are dominating right now. They lead 28-3. Bartholomew Blount is balling. The rookie has thrown for 3 touchdowns here against his childhood team. He is feeling himself. Clyde Williamson, on the other hand, is not doing too hot as he's thrown 2 interceptions. The Lions won 2 playoff games last year, but so far their season is not off to a hot start as they are really struggling against the Colts, who play against Tennessee next week. The Giants acquired Tua Tagovailoa via trade in the offseason, and so far it has been about as good of a start as you could have asked for. Tua has thrown for 2 touchdowns here in the first half of his Giants debut as they lead the Steelers 24-7. You may notice Pittsburgh is starting Jared Goff today. That's because Kenny Pickett got injured in the preseason. He's not going to miss too many games, but he is out today for the Steelers. And finally, let's look at the #1 overall pick, Cade Hutchinson, the Heisman Trophy winner. It's been a mixed bag for him. He's currently 10 for 20. He had a really nice touchdown pass here to Devin Duvernay. He also threw a late interception in the first half, although he does have his Vikings ahead against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, another former #1 pick out of Clemson, really is not doing too well, and Cade Hutchinson does have the upper hand over him. So as we go into the second half, what do we need to focus on? I think we're playing fine. It hasn't been a perfect game of football, but we do very slightly have the lead. On the offensive side of the ball, I really want to focus on the run game. Derrick Henry's been very efficient. Hopefully he can keep it up. And I want to see some more Elijah Bryant as well. We've tried to give him some plays, and he hasn't done a whole lot yet. He has had a couple of nice catches so far. And then on defense, got to stop Kane Sanders. He's been pretty solid for the Texans. He's made some good throws so far. And as you can see, we're really dominating time of possession. I don't think Sanders has been able to get much of the rhythm because the Texans have not consistently had the ball for more than a minute or 2 at a time.
Let's see what Houston can do here in the third quarter. Their offense is only responsible for 3 points so far here in this first half, as Sanders has time to throw it, trying to get it to Higbee, but it's broken up. Great coverage there by the Titans secondary, despite not much pressure. And so Tennessee will get the football here from the 31-yard line. We'll see if Malik Willis can have another good drive, as on the option, he loses 3, smothered into the backfield by Yannick Ngakoue. Good start to the drive for the Texans defense, and it's now a 3rd and 12 for Tennessee. Willis looks to throw it, looks downfield for Elijah Bryant. He created a lot of separation from the defensive back, but the pass was a little bit underthrown, forcing a punt, and the Texans have it. Here's Hunt up the middle, breaking tackles. He'll get it near the 50 to the 49. Nice run there for Hunt. The Texans haven't really gotten the run game going a whole lot today. We'll see if that changes here in the second half. From the 49, Kane Sanders drops back to throw it. Under pressure, goes short. Caught by Brandon Cooks, who is popped by Kevin Byard, but not before getting the first down. Good throw by Sanders, who hasn't made a ton of big throws today, but he has been really efficient and accurate. On 3rd and 1, it's a handoff for Hunt, who annihilates Chidobe Awuzie and then gets annihilated by Kevin Byard, but not before getting the first down as the Texans find themselves in the red zone. 1st and 10 for Houston, looking for their first offensive touchdown of the game. Sanders is sacked by Jordan Ruffin. the second-year pro out of the University of South Florida, who was one of the Titans' preseason standouts, recording a sack in all 3 preseason games. Second and long now for the Texans. Sanders drops back to throw it. Can't find anybody open, so he's going to dance in the pocket and then get sacked. Asher Gonzalez, the rookie out of San Diego State, with his first career sack. The Titans' top draft pick has made some good plays today, none better than that one, getting his first NFL sack on Kane Sanders, making it a 3rd and very long for the Texans. They were just in the red zone, but now they might not even be in field goal range. A costly decision by Kane Sanders to not throw it away there on 2nd down and instead try to extend the play. On 3rd and long, Sanders goes short for Kareem Hunt, who brings the Texans back into field goal range. Gonzalez with the initial contact once again. So the Texans are going to look to tie it here. A 41-yard kick for Orlando Walker. Not a doozy, but he will get that one to split the uprights. And the Texans tie it up at 13. This has been a very competitive game. These Texans are not what they used to be. They're a legitimately talented football team, and they're giving Tennessee everything they got here in Week 1. Derrick Henry up the middle, breaking tackles, gets a first down. Henry's been very efficient today, over 6 yards a carry. He's been really, really good so far. Elijah Bryant now with the handoff, trucks the defender, and then gets leveled to the ground. Nice run there by Bryant, who's able to get around 13 yards. Good play by the rookie out of Florida. 3rd and 4. Scotty Pickens open up the field with a juke move. It seems like every play to Scotty Pickens today, he's made a really nice move after the catch. Pickens looks even better than he did last year, which obviously says a lot as he's already over 100 yards. On 1st down, Willis is sacked by Isaiah Rodgers, the nickel corner, forcing a loss of about 6. And that'll wrap up the 3rd quarter. We've got a tight one here in H-Town, 13 apiece as the Titans look to take the lead here early in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 6, first play of the quarter. Bryant in the backfield as it's going to be a screen. Elijah Bryant with a nice play gets the first down. If someone had blocked number 5, Jalen Petrie, Bryant possibly could have taken that one to the house, but still a nice play after the catch by the rookie. On 1st down, Willis and Bryant again share the backfield as Bryant gets the handoff of a nice block from Pickens, and Bryant will truck his way in for a touchdown. Elijah Bryant with his first NFL score, and the Titans are back on top. I'm impressed with Elijah Bryant, particularly here on this possession. He's had a few really nice plays, none better than that one, trucking Jalen Petrie and Derek Stingley in the end zone to put the Titans ahead 20-13. The Texans have it back, possibly looking to tie it. Sanders on 1st down, goes short for Brandon Cooks, quickly tackled by Cardell Simpson, but not before bringing it to the 39 for a first down. 3rd and 3 now at the 45. Sanders looks to throw it, and it's broken up. Cardell Simpson had it in his hands, but nonetheless, the Titans get the stop, and they'll get the football back with the lead and really all the momentum. Perfect start to the 4th quarter for Tennessee as they try to make it a 2-score game. Derrick Henry in the zone, breaks a tackle. Henry down the field, wrapped up past midfield at the 45. A big run for Derrick Henry. Expect him to get the ball a lot here in this 4th quarter as the Titans look to chew some clock. About 5.5 minutes to go. It's a fake for Pickens. Quinn Crew ends up with the ball, and Crew will dart into the end zone for a touchdown. What a play call by the Tennessee Titans to fake the handoff for Scotty Pickens. The Texans were so nervous about him getting the ball that they did not account for Quinn Crew to be able to make that play. Crew is a Texas kid through and through. He played his college ball at Texas A&M, and he scores his first NFL touchdown. A big offensive 4th quarter for the Titans as 2 of their rookies, Bryant and Crew, score what could be the deciding touchdowns. So now the Texans need a miracle as that one is nearly intercepted by Chidobe Awuzie. Kane Sanders has done a good job of not turning the ball over today, but he's been close a couple of times. 2nd and 10 at the 25. Sanders looks to throw it, goes up the middle. It's caught by Higbee, who is pounded by Asher Gonzalez, but not before getting the first down. 2nd down and 6 at the 44. Here is Sanders, looks to throw it, goes short, caught by John Mechie. He will get the first down to the 41 as Brandon Cooks is hurt on the play for the Texans. That is not good news for Houston. 3rd down and 4 now. Kane Sanders looks to throw it. Caught again. Sanders has really relied on the intermediate passing game, and to his credit, it is working. 2nd and 10. Short pass caught by Hunt, who trucks the defender, and it gets hit hard by Juan Thornhill. Houston in the red zone, getting very close here at the 16-yard line. On 1st and 10, Sanders looks short, caught by the rookie Cassius Morris, picked in the 7th round out of Kentucky, as he scores the touchdown. Kane Sanders with his first NFL touchdown. Cassius Morris also with his first NFL score. Pretty sure that's Morris's first catch as well, and it's 20-27. The Texans do not elect to go for the onside kick. They trust their defense, which is a little bit of a surprise because Derrick Henry and Elijah Bryant have both played really well on the ground game. So I would have thought that the Texans would have gone for the onside, but they trust their defense to get a stop. 3rd and 8, Bryant gets the ball, and he gets the first down. Way to make a play, young man. Elijah Bryant has been fantastic here in the second half, possibly icing the game. Houston still has one more timeout, so I guess there's a shot, but not really. 3rd and 8, play clock winding down, a minute to go. Willis sends a quick screen for Elijah Bryant, who nearly is able to make a really nice play for the first, but he only gets around 3. So the Titans are going to run the clock all the way down, and presumably the Texans are going to have time probably for 1 or 2 Hail Marys. Here's the rookie, Jeffrey Walker, undrafted out of, ironically, the University of Houston, as it's a really good kick. Downed all the way at the 8 by Roger McCreary with just 10 seconds left on the clock. So Houston pretty much needs a miracle. This is it. Kane Sanders in his own end zone heaves it up for the ball game, and it is nearly caught. Not that it would have mattered because it only gets to the 30, and that is how Week 1 comes to a close.
Tennessee hangs on here in Houston as the Titans win this one 27-20 and start their season 1-0. In all 3 seasons of this series, we have won on opening day. The first 2 were blowouts. This year, not so much. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how the team played, and it certainly was not a perfect game of football. We had some pretty bad turnovers. The offense was a little bit inconsistent. The defense kind of let the pedal off the metal late. But overall, I thought we played a pretty strong game. The defense was good for most of this one. Although I was impressed with Kane Sanders. I thought he was pretty solid. And the offense, particularly down the stretch, really played well, in my opinion, led by Malik Willis, who had a pretty good game. The first interception Willis threw to start things off really was not his fault. It was just a really good defensive play. The second one, on the other hand, was his fault. But other than that, he was accurate, 21-31, 248 yards. He made big throws. He was consistent. And I think he played better than his passer rating suggests. Kane Sanders was pretty solid. He didn't necessarily blow the doors off this place, but he was pretty good. 17 of 29, 191 and a touchdown. We ran the ball really well. Derrick Henry and Elijah Bryant were both very impressive. Bryant really figured some things out in the second half, and obviously Derrick Henry did his thing per usual with nearly 100 yards on almost 6 yards a carry. Bryant led the game in catches, although the real standout at wide receiver was unsurprisingly Scotty Pickens, while we were also able to get a lot of other guys involved as well. Nate Davis with 5 pancakes. That's a lot. On defense, some notable standouts include the rookie Asher Gonzalez with multiple TFLs and a sack. Jordan Ruffin also had a sack. Harold Landry had the nice strip sack as well, although the Texans' pass rush was honestly even better than ours. Cyrus Okpoko had 2 interceptions, one of which went for a pick 6. And a shout out to both kickers for being perfect. So overall, I thought we played pretty well. The key was stopping the pass game, and I guess we did. Kane Sanders threw for under 200 yards. So overall, we did a pretty good job, despite the fact that Sanders is a really, really good quarterback. And our defensive backs are going to get a lot of XP, even though we just talked with Christian Barmore, which doesn't really make sense, but okay. Unfortunately, A.J. Redico broke his ribs pretty early in the game on a special teams play, so he's going to miss the next month or so, which means we're really going to rely on guys like Zaire Patton and Quinn Crew to step up in limited opportunity. Here's a look at some of the scores. The Colts and Vikings both won in blowouts, so those rookie quarterbacks get wins, along with Isaiah Gordon for the Rams, and Sidney McDonald, the other rookie starting quarterback, lost in Atlanta. As for some of the primetime games, Dallas, who only lost 1 game last year, loses to the Bengals. Players of the week, Fred Warner, Cyrus Okpoko, Joe Burrow, and Isaiah Gordon for the Rams. He had a monster game against the Arizona Cardinals, throwing for 4 touchdowns. And yeah, it's a little bit easier when you have wide receivers like Cooper Kupp and Mike Evans, and your head coach is Sean McVay. But even so, shout out to Isaiah Gordon for having a great NFL debut. And if he keeps playing like this, the Rams are probably going to be really good. And that's not good news for us because we own their first-round pick again thanks to the Jeffrey Simmons trade. But I am happy to see Isaiah Gordon play really well. He's been a guy who I've been quite high on for a while. And boy, did he produce for the Los Angeles Rams, who hopefully are going to start losing games because I would really like a top pick this year. So that's going to wrap up the episode. Next time around, we face off against the 1-0 Indianapolis Colts, who just blew the doors off of Detroit 34-3. We also played the Jaguars as well. I'm really excited to get a look at University of Michigan quarterback Bartholomew Blount, who had an awesome NFL debut, throwing for 3 touchdowns in the win against the Lions. So that'll wrap up the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.